Assalamu alaikum students. I'm your science teacher, Miss Kamal, and I will teach you science. And in the science, we are going to learn the chapter. The chapter name is Living Things. As you all know, all living things, just like humans and other animals, cat, dog, or horse and cow, as you see around you all the animals, now we are going to study about those and other living things. First of all, I would like to show you something. Yes, we are going to study the types of living things. In this chapter, we will study the animal groups. Here you can see animal groups, different animals you see around you: elephants, tiger, and giraffe, or the monkey. They all are the living things because they eat food, they grow, and they move or they breathe. These are the specific signs from which we can identify that they are the living things. All living things need food to get energy to do work, and all living things grow, and all living things reproduce. They make a new baby. They make a new baby as the copy of it, just like different animals. Or here in this chapter, we will classify those organisms or those animals according to their body shape or the body parts like bones. Animals with backbone, all those animals which have backbone in their body, they are called vertebrates. Like fish, it has a backbone in its body. Or the mammal, all mammals have backbone in their body. All the birds have backbone in their body. Amphibians, just like frog, they all have backbone in their body. In the reptiles, we have snake and different lizards or crocodile. They are the animals with backbone. And animals without backbone, they don't have backbone in their body, they are called invertebrates. Invertebrates, just like this octopus, it doesn't have any backbone in its body. Or butterfly, and these different insects you can see here, like a crab or a snail, they don't have backbone in their body. In the starfish, there is no backbone in the body of starfish. So we can identify different vertebrates. They have all fishes have backbone in their body, and all birds have backbone in their body. All mammals, reptiles, and amphibians, and all the invertebrates, they don't have backbone in their body. Some another examples for invertebrates are animals with spiny skin. You can see here the spiny body of starfish, and animals with a shell. They have a covering, a strong covering around their body. It protects them or save them from the environment and from the fishes. Or these are the worms we can see here in the garden, or they are also present in our body. And some of the invertebrates are insects. They have jointed legs like this: locust, butterfly, mosquitoes. Their feet are jointed. They have jointed legs, and they have six legs. One, two, three, four, five, six. They have six legs. And there's an example of another insect. How can we identify the body of the insects? The three parts of the body of insect. First is head, you can see here. Second is thorax. This central part is thorax, or abdomen. Sorry, the central part is abdomen, and the thorax is the last part or the end part of the body. Fish. Simply, you all have seen fish around you, or uh, in the sea and river or in fresh water. So the structure of the fish, if you can identify, here is the eye and mouth, or the gills from where the fish breathe, and the fins which help the fish to swim, and the tail and the pectoral fin. It's a complete body of a fish. You might have already known the gills, mouth, eye, fins, pectoral fin, and the tail. Amphibians. Now I'm going to tell you the properties of the amphibians. They live on land and in water. Might you have seen the frog in the water? When they are in the form of eggs, they lie in water, or when they are in the form of this prey, they also live in water. But when they get adult, then they live on the land, or they have webbed feet. What are the webbed feet actually? Like this. These are the webbed feet. You can see here, these are the web feet. They don't have the much gap between the fingers. These are called the web feet, and they breathe with the lungs and gills. Sometime from here, you have already seen it. It blows sometime when it breathes from its gills, or they can also breathe with their lungs. And they are cold blooded. Cold blooded means they don't change their body temperature until they are in a they are in a hot water, or they are in a cold water. Moist, smooth skin. They have a slippery skin. When we touch them, they slip with our hand from our hand, and they have no hair and no fur on their body, and they have four legs, and they lay many eggs. So these are the 6 or 7 properties of the amphibians. Now reptiles. What are the reptiles? Now you will get to know what are reptiles. They have scales, not fur. These are the scales. If you have seen any snake around you, so these are called the scales. Scale skin of the reptiles. They have dry skin. They usually lay eggs, or sometimes live young. Air holes instead of ears. They don't have ears, they have just a hole instead of ears. They can hear from that hole from in their body. Or they have 4 legs, or sometimes no legs. You can see here a turtle, it has 4 legs. You can see here a snake, it has no leg. Or they are cold blooded. They can change their body temperature according to the environment. If they will be in a hot weather, they will change the temperature according that, and if they will be in a cold conditions, then they will change the temperature of their body according to that. Third, vertebrates are birds. All kinds of birds are included in this. They have feeders and wings. I am talking about their wings and the feathers present and on their body, and they lay eggs, or they have 2 legs. Air hole instead of air. They also have holes instead of their ears, and they are warm-blooded. Warm-blooded means they cannot change their body temperature according to the environment. They have a constant body temperature. So now in the last, we have mammals. Mammals included humans and other other living things, just like you can see here a kangaroo, another bear, or they have hair or fur on their body, as we all have the hair on our body. They give birth to the live young. And mammal mothers nurse their young with milk. They provide milk to their babies and have lungs for breathing and need to air for breathe. Mammals that live on land have four legs and ears. They stick out. Then they are warm blooded. How many things you have to learn and how many things you have to keep in your mind, that they have hair and they give birth to live young one, and the mother provide milk to the babies, and they have lungs, or they breathe through air. And mammals live on land. They have four legs. So one by one, uh, it's a it's a last class of the vertebrates. One, mammal, bird second, and reptile the third, fishes, and amphibian fourth, or the fish is fifth. So they all are vertebrates. They have backbone in their body inside, and in amphibians also, in reptiles also, and birds. These are all the vertebrates. They are divided into classes. This is the mammal class, this is birds class, and this is reptile class of living things, and this is amphibian or fish. Before that, we were talking about the animals without backbone. In without backbone, some of the spiny skin living things, some have shells on their body, and some are worms and jointed legs. In this chapter, first thing that you should keep in your mind is that in the animals, in all in the animals, or we have a categories, one with backbone. All five classes are included in that. They are called vertebrates, or without backbone, they are called invertebrates. This is the classification. Basically, we divide all living things into two. The one, animals with backbone. Second, animals without backbone. And those who have backbone, they are divided into five classes: fish, amphibian, reptile, or birds, and mammals. So I will repeat it again and again until you get it. So I'll give you the homework also to identify some living things around you, and you will have to write the names of the animals, or the thing that do they have a backbone. You have to write number 1 point that they have a backbone, or in which category they are. Either they are fish, they are birds, they are reptiles, the amphibians, or a mammals. You have to just look at these categories. You have to identify from here that amphibians, they live on land and in water also sometime, or they have webbed feet, breathe through lungs. So when you will going to write that on the card, on a paper, then you will see here, or you will identify the characteristic from here, and then you have to write. You have to write any five living things. You have to write about any five living things around you on a card or on any paper, and you are going to send me on WhatsApp group. Or in the next class, I'll ask you that how many categories of animals we have. The answer, currently I'm telling you, the answer is we have two categories of the animals, the one with backbone and the second without backbone. The second is without backbone, animals without backbone. So these are the two categories of the animals. After that, I will ask how many classes of animals we have in the vertebrate category. In the vertebrate category, we have five classes of animals. We have five types of animals. Number one, fish. Number two, birds. And number three, reptiles. Number four, mammals. And number five, amphibian. These are the five categories, five types, or five classes of animals in the vertebrate categories. And I'll give you the target or the task to complete, in which you have to just pick up any bird or any fish, any mammal, any amphibian or reptile around you, and you just have to write the name of that animal, and you have to write the characteristic of that animal. You can also select from here that these are the categories and these are the characteristics of those animals, but it will be good if you will write by your own uh, the categories of those animals. Select any one, any amphibian, any reptile. Just write the name and write the properties, that where does it live, or is it cold blooded, or how many legs it has, or how does that animal breathe, or which kind of skin it has. Does it have a fur or scales, or a spiny or skin or smooth skin? Just write the name of that animal and the category or the characteristic of the animals. Again, you can send me that paper or card. Take a picture of that card or paper and send me on the WhatsApp group. This is your homework for the first class, and later on we will discuss them thoroughly. Thank you, class. In the next class, I'll explain you more until you get it. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.